to another edition of The Blue Review. I don't know why I just did a McConaughey there, but I just felt like it.
All right.
F it Friday, as our friend Mason says. So welcome. Dodgers offense gets going. We got a lot to react to. We get a lot to preview. A little Yankees Dodgers coming up, and that is always amazing to see. So before we get into all of that, welcome to the chat, everyone. Just want to say, feel free to interact with us. Send us questions. We love to answer questions on Fridays. But of course, I'm joined here by Marcus Grant and Corporate Greg Bergman. I am Parker Bell. We are the Blue Review crew, and we talk Dodgers every 9:30 to 9:55. So keep on tuning in every weekday. Here at the Blue Review, we're presented by LAX. Our friends at Los Angeles International Airport are changing the travel experience, reducing traffic, saving guests time, and just doing tons of great things over there. So if you want to learn more, find out at flylax.com/transforminglAX. Let's get right into it, guys. I wanted to do that quickly because we got a lot to react to.
1 second, Parker.
Hey,
so
yeah, let's hear it.
You love producer DeAndre a lot. You guys like to drop grapes into each other. Like to drop grapes into his mouth. We showed the picture the other day before we came on, and we all love Graham. But you said, "I love you, Graham." Is he grape dropping love, or just like a lower level?
I'm glad you asked this because I had the same thought when I heard it, so I'm glad you got that out there.
I just needed to know. I mean, these are things that we need to know.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? My boy Graham is also grape dropping love. I'm a loving guy. I like to give out love. I give lots of love out.
And grapes.
Obviously, Parker's love language is feeding people grapes. I mean, that's what it is.
Maybe we'll get a Blue Review grape drop one of these days.
One day. We strive to be on that level, Marcus and I. So,
don't worry. I got lots of love in my heart for you guys as well.
All right, now you can go to it. That was all I needed to do.
No, thank you. Well, complete 180. Let's talk about last night. Yesterday's game. I guess they didn't play at night, but let's talk about yesterday. Buehler, we can get into a little bit. I don't want to say he had a terrible stretch, but it wasn't his best. Again, he's still trying to figure things out, and the defense did him no favors. But I think we got to start with the positives. We got to start with the good news. Marcus, the offense woke up. Marcus Lindbets definitely woke up. So, Marcus, if you want to react to that a little bit, just tell me what you saw from the offense and the 11 runs that they put up. I mean, what was the most positive you saw from yesterday?
They were aggressive, and they went on the attack early. I mean, you just saw, Betts, Ohtani, Freeman hits the home run, then Teoscar comes back with a hit. I mean, just bang, 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 bang. Before you knew it, it was 4-0 out of the gate, and that was sort of what had been missing. I mean, obviously, 2 nights ago they didn't score a single run. The game after that, they scored 6, but they had fallen behind. They had basically spotted the Pirates 7 runs before the offense even woke up. So to see them go out, be aggressive early, and to see those guys who had been slumping, like Mookie Betts, really get going. Freddie is continuing to stay hot. I mean, he's been hitting the ball really well lately. Shohei had the one hit, but again, just putting the ball in play, swinging the bat well, hitting the ball hard. Those are great things to see. And then again, the bottom of the lineup contributing. Miguel Rojas with 3 hits in the game. Kike, had a big hit. Margel Vargas swinging the bat well. Andy Pages continuing to swing a hot bat. So everybody contributed, and it felt like the team sort of realized how bad things had gone the previous 2 nights, at least offensively, and realized that they needed to lock in and get a win heading to Yankee Stadium. And it just seemed like there was a different sort of focus and energy with that club yesterday.
So basically what I saw, and you're 100% right, obviously, that they came out aggressive, and they were aggressive to the point that they got that big lead, and then they were still aggressive later on. When they came back, when the Pirates came back and tied the game, they went hot again. So it just kept on hitting and kept on hitting. It felt nice to see that they can get big innings multiple times. So that's now 2 games in a row where they're starting to put up runs. There was a long stretch there where they couldn't put up anything. It was like 0, 1 run, 0, 1 run, 2 run. They weren't getting hits in big spots. But the fact of the matter is, Mookie got hot. Mookie had a big game, and that's what you really need at the top of the lineup. So going into this Yankee series, I actually feel much better about the offense. I love the pitching matchups that we have going in there. It's Yamamoto, Stone, and possibly Glasnow on Sunday. But you have the right guys on the mound. The guys are starting to hit coming out of Pittsburgh. You have that short right portion at Yankee Stadium that they can get to. There's a lot of good things leading up into it. So hopefully that stretch in the past where they were just not getting anything done can kind of go away. Shohei, though, does need to start hitting more.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I wanted to, Greg, to your point, just talk about that stretch in the past. So May 14th, that was the last day that the Dodgers had 2 innings in a game where they had more than 2 runs.
Wow.
You know how hot that offense was early on. May 6th, the last time that the big 3, as we call them, each reached base safely to lead off a game. So this has been, I mean, it's just a ridiculous stretch in terms of being cold. And the last time I think the Dodgers had all 9 starters had a hit. I don't have the exact date, but this is only the 6th time that they've reached base at least 20 times as a team. So the offense definitely woke up. And to your point, Greg, yeah, this is going to be huge heading into a series where the Yankees pitching has been pretty dominant.
Do you think Tyler Glasnow just sat on the bench and one tear just rolled down his cheek? Like watching this team score 17 runs combined the last 2 games.
I think it's more than one tear. He was streaming down his face. It was bawling. He wasn't just like a tear. He was bawling. Like, why? Just do this for me, please.
Even a portion of it. Like, I don't even need all of these. Just a couple of these runs would be nice. Please.
One run. Just give me one. I'll do the rest. I got you.
Oh, man.
So, guys, we've been talking about the offense a lot, but I see in the chat, Roy Estrada, thank you, Graham, for putting that comment up. Let's readdress Buehler. It's going to take the whole season for Buehler to get right. He needs to go to the bullpen during. Interesting point. Marcus, what is your reaction to this comment here?
I had a similar thought to that, just kind of watching the game yesterday. And I know, Greg, you and I think we've talked about it on this show that the downside to that is that if you're bringing a guy out of the bullpen, you want to know that he can get you through that first inning he pitches with very little or no trouble at all. And that's sort of been a problem for Buehler. Actually, yesterday was sort of nice because he actually got through the first inning pretty great. It was the other 2 innings that were problematic. I feel like yesterday was a combination of things. Yeah, Buehler himself was not great, right? He gives up 7 hits in 3 innings. The defense definitely did not help him out. There were, I think, the second inning, I think he basically had to get 5 outs out of that. The third inning, again, something similar where they just did not support him defensively. So yesterday was kind of a combination of things. But I think to your greater point there, Roy, there are issues that Buehler is still working through a lot of things. And Greg, I do wonder, we've mentioned this before, whether or not they sort of rushed him through his rehab, because we talked about those rehab starts and they weren't good. I mean, he didn't really seem to accomplish the objectives the Dodgers had set out for him, but they brought him back and they've had him starting in the rotation. And you just do wonder whether or not they might have been premature with that.
See, that was why, when after his first or second start, I think it was, we were talking about it. I was just saying, I think this is just who he is at this point. He has had a couple good outings and he's going to have to take the whole season, but I don't know if we ever do. And I'm going to go back to it. I don't know if we ever do see the full Walker Buehler that we used to know and love. Could he have been rushed through his rehab? I mean, how much can you rush through when he had 6 rehab starts? He was supposed to only have 2 or 3 or maybe 4, and they let him go 6. He never was all that dominant in any of those as well. So, I mean, he's really only had 1 good start to this point, and maybe 2. But look, the fact of the matter is he's going to put stress on this already stressed out bullpen, where if he's only going 3 innings and you have to use Michael Grove, who can only go through the lineup 1 time. So if you can get through 3 innings without him going through the lineup 1 time, great. Yesterday, it was only 2. He went through 2. He only had 2 innings. And then you have to start using these other arms, and it starts to put stress on it. Walker Buehler is a guy that I just don't know what he is anymore. I don't think, obviously, the velocity is down. He's not hitting the plate. Like, he's just not a guy that I think is fully healthy, and I don't know if he ever will be fully healthy again, Marcus.
I mean, I think that's fair. So then in that case, what do you do with him? If this is who he is, and being who he is a guy that on a good day gets you 5 innings.
Right.
But on a bad day, I mean, this is what you see, just the 3 innings and 4 runs on 7 hits. I mean, what do you do with him? How do you get through the rest of this season? Because it is only June. There's still a long way to go in this season.
Yeah.
You can't really start him. You can't really bring him out of the bullpen. But now you are sort of committed to having him around. Like, now you've put yourself in a bind with a guy that doesn't have a clear path to success.
So what is the best option for him? Because he's bad in the first. I saw the stat right when he came in that he has like a 9 ERA in the first inning, and then all the other ones it started to go down. He was great in the first inning, to your point, and then he just couldn't get out the rest of the way through. So it's not like you can move him into a long relief role if he's bad in the first inning. That's tough. So you can't. Mm-hmm. You're not going to use him in a Michael Grove role. So I just don't know if he's only going to go 3 innings. It may be time to have him. I mean, you're going to give him a little more runway. I'm not trying to go like overboard just yet.
Right.
But at some point, if this is what continues, he may have to go back on the IL to go have more rehab starts, because with the way that this team is not hitting, to have a guy go out there and give up runs is not going to work.
Yeah. And then for Buehler as well, to piggyback off of that, I mean, the defense has to be near perfect in his starts. And of course, the Dodgers aren't necessarily perfect on defense.
They were just straight up bad yesterday.
Dave said it was possibly their worst defensive game of the year. Now, granted, Buehler was just giving up all those soft hits. Like you said, guys, the 7 hits in 3 innings is not good to see. They were just kind of BPing off of him. He wasn't giving up huge, massive home run shots, moonshots, but still, just to see everybody able to just see the ball too easily, the velo down, it's tough. And then it led into a whole, I mean, granted, the bullpen, they did decent. They put up season high 12 Ks. But to see a guy like Phillips have to go through 31 pitches in a blowout game,
he shouldn't have been in.
Yeah,
that was kind of my thought. Was like, why was he in? Because there's a very good chance they may need him in the next few days.
They will.
I mean, I hope that he is needed, because that means he's coming in to close a game out.
Right.
So, it may have been just a fact of that he hadn't had any usage in a couple of days, because they had they lost the other 2 games. So it could have been that, but otherwise I would have just let him sit for another one and wait until the next day. I always hate the whole thing with the closer too. Like, I understand that he's a guy that can be that fireman role that comes in to see the best hitters, but he's now the closer, and that's what his mindset is. I hate the fact of always have. If you're a closer, you come in at the end of the game with a 3 run or less lead. Otherwise, I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you in a tie game. I don't want to see you in a blowout game. I don't want to see you in any of those things, because they tend to blow up. It happens way too often to make that a thing. So I don't know. I wouldn't have used Phillips there or any of these other guys. So
I'm also sort of curious about that idea, because they brought him in the 8th, where, like, let's say he got through the 8th clean. Was the plan always to bring in Vesia in the 9th? Like, I was sort of wondering what the thought process was there in the first place. I don't know.
So the only thought process that I can think of is that it was like, okay, low stress, just go out there, get a little work in, so you're healthy for, nothing's going to happen. No high stress innings. Be ready for the Yankee series.
But instead, high stress.
Yeah, he made it a high stress inning, and he's giving up runs. He's giving up a home run. It's like, what are we doing here? I understand maybe what the idea is, but it's a bad idea, and proved to be.
Yeah, I was really, really confused, because I'm like, you're not going to use him in a 2-inning situation here. So why the 8th versus the 9th? I was confused by that whole thing.
Yeah. So I think, honestly, enough about yesterday. Let's preview this series, because we're not going to be here tomorrow to react. And we won't be back until Monday. Well, actually, you guys will be back Monday. I will be out on Monday.
Again? How dare you?
I know. Hey, you can thank the Rams for actually thank McVay for waking up at like 4 a.m. and making us get there at 4:30.
Rams Media Day is important. It's
yes.
Understand.
Yes. But let's preview this Yankee series. There is a lot to talk about if we really want to get into the nitty-gritty. I'm going to just start here real quick. I know that we might not see Soto, still up in the air, but Marcus, between the 2 duos, who do you think so far has been having the better season? Because it is pretty tough to match what Soto and Judge have been doing
Yeah.
offensively recently. So I'll start with that. Between Soto and Judge and Ohtani and Mookie, who have you seen really step up so far?
I mean, I would say at this moment, it's probably Soto and Judge. I mean, Aaron Judge has been just unstoppable right now. You just can't get that guy out. I mean, he's spraying the ball everywhere. He's hitting with incredible power. I mean, we know what Juan Soto can do. Between having seen Soto with the Nationals and having seen him with the Padres, we know who Juan Soto can be when he is healthy and ready to go. Throw in the fact that Mookie hopefully is coming out of his slump, but was really much on the struggle bus for the last couple of weeks. And Shohei, if he wasn't driving the struggle bus, was certainly sitting in the front passenger seat. So right now, it's definitely the Soto Judge combination.
You can't say it's anybody but the Soto Judge combination. They're legitimately destroying baseballs. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they're exploding when they hit the hit the seats. They have like 38 or 40 home runs between the two of them, and their OPSs are both over 1,000. They're just getting on base consistently, and they're destroying teams. So yeah. Those two are pretty crazy. What's wild to me is that Juan Soto this was not the Juan Soto you saw in San Diego. And I don't know why that is. He was amazing with the Nationals, not terrible, but not very good with the Padres.
Yeah.
And now he's amazing again with the Yankees. I don't know what's going on down there in San Diego, but it's kind of crazy how it's all working out with that.
It's
but
so
those two
chill down there, right? You got the beach. It's always around 70, 72 degrees. You got fish tacos. It's like, even when you're losing in San Diego, you're still kind of winning because you're in San Diego.
Right. What's also interesting too is that, did you see that quote? It's like a week ago. Sorry, I just smacked things. It was about a week ago. Soto said that he's going to leave open every single team to possibility after the season. If you're a Yankee in Yankee Stadium playing for the Yankees, you don't say that.
Well, also, I mean, Yankee Stadium is tailor-made for Juan Soto. I mean, again, the short porch, you got a left-handed hitting guy with power. Like, why wouldn't you stay there? I know Mets fans are still keeping their fingers and toes and eyes crossed that maybe Juan Soto will think about coming across town. But I mean, literally, you're playing for the Yankees. When you're winning and you're playing well, life is great as a Yankee. Why would you look across town at that dumpster fire over there and be like, maybe I'll check that out? Like, I just don't see that at all happening.
Yeah, and besides the fact, you have made Giancarlo Stanton just like an afterthought at this point.
Yeah,
which is crazy because he's still really
home runs,
good.
By the way,
right? Yeah. No, I mean, this series is going to show you a lot. I'll back up on that. It's going to show you a lot about this team right now. Will it matter moving forward? No. But what this team was, the Dodgers, I'm saying right now, what this team can actually do against a team that is hitting really well, what your pitching staff is looking like against a real team that is absolutely destroying baseballs, and what your offense can do against a pitching staff that is pitching extremely well too, even without their ace in Garrett Cole. So I'm just interested to see what they do. And again, that's why I love we're going to see Yamamoto, Stone, who's been amazing. And I think maybe Glasnow on Sunday. You're going to get the guys that you want against the Yankees. And you have everybody that you really want besides Max Muncy in your starting lineups. It's going to show you a lot about the Dodgers, where they are today.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'll say this. And, this team, as much as we get frustrated with them when they play poorly against less than great teams, they do have a tendency to really lock in these big series. I mean, I go back to that Braves series when Atlanta came to town and they locked in and they played really, really well. And so, look, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're going to go in the Yankee Stadium and get a sweep or what have you, but I do think you're going to see the best of this team coming up over the next few days. Now, the results, we'll see what they are when we get to Monday morning, but I don't know that we're going to see the sloppy kind of lazy baseball that we saw from them in the last few days in Pittsburgh.
So would you think that they kind of play up and down to their competition because
100%.
they're not? Yeah. So that's what it is. Because what they did against the Braves was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to see that same team. So when they play teams like Atlanta, when they play teams like the Yankees, they just rise a little bit, is what you're saying.
And then they,
no pun intended.
Right. Exactly. But yeah, and then they trip all over themselves against the Rockies. I have no other explanation for how that happens.
I mean, hey, Shohei knows when Shohei knows when the people are watching, and I'm expecting like a huge weekend from him. Because Greg, you mentioned very early in this episode, Shohei. I mean, while Mookie woke up after that 1 for 24, Shohei.
1 for 24.
I know, yeah. Sorry to bring back some memories about
Yeah.
maybe some past 1 for 21 moments. But yeah, Shohei, guys like Shohei, Freddie, they know when the big moments are there, and they definitely rise, like you said. We just hope that there's no all rises for Judge this weekend. But
There will be.
or at
let's
least
be
keep them
real.
to a
It's
minimum.
inevitable.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And,
Real quick.
and if
though,
you
Greg-
remember,
yeah,
if you
go
remember,
ahead.
sorry, if you remember last year too, this is when the Yankees came to Dodger Stadium. That was when it all fell apart for the Yankees because
Oh, yeah,
Aaron
pinky
Judge
toe or something?
slammed
Slammed
into
into
the
the
wall,
Mhm.
and then he was basically done for the year after that.
Yeah.
So like Dodgers can be the Yankees' kryptonite. That's all I'm saying.
True. Well, knock on wood, nobody gets hurt.
No, I don't want
We're
anybody
already
hurt,
seeing
especially not
Soto.
Judge.
We're already seeing Soto with the forearm issue. But real quick, just to kind of end on a overarching, more general note, who is under more pressure to make a World Series, to win a World Series? I know that the whole talk, at least here in the West Coast, Dodgers, you spend $1 billion, etc. You got to make the World Series. But I mean, the Yankees, you haven't really done anything since '09. Talking World Series wise. Sorry, Graham in the back, a Phillies fan. Uh, who do you think generally is under more pressure? Greg, I'll start with you.
So I think their pressure is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
The Yankees have been not making the postseason, and they're the Yankees. Like you're taking the two premier teams in all of baseball, and the Yankees and the Dodgers, and the teams that win the most World Series, with teams that you're expected to win. They're Evil Empire West and Evil Empire East. Like these are the two that have to do it. So I don't think any one team has higher. If I have to choose one, I actually go with the Dodgers because of the amount of money they spent this summer. I always say summer because I think of like the other sports.
Right,
but
exactly.
but this winter, the amount of money that they spent it was like $1.8 billion or something like that. And bringing in Shohei and Yamamoto and Glasnow and completely revamping the team to be able to win a World Series. And the fact that if they don't win a World Series, we all are kind of in agreement that Dave Roberts is fired. The pressure has to be there. But if you're a Yankee, the pressure is there every single year. No matter if you're the worst team in baseball, you still have the pressure to win the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I'm 100% on that one. Everybody knows this. It's rough in New York when you're not winning. And for this team that they've got right now to be this good, for Judge and Soto to be doing what they're doing, for, Luis Gil to be throwing the way he's throwing right now, looking like a rookie of the year, everything is rolling their direction. To not win a World Series, certainly to not make a World Series, we consider a major, major disappointment. Similarly for the Dodgers, for not only with the money they have spent this offseason, but just with their repeated failures, just their failure to get out of the first round the last couple of years. There's immense pressure for both these sides. So the answer to your question is yes.
That's it. Exactly. And by the way, Sunday, I'm seeing it's Tyler Glasnow versus Luis Gil. So that means probably no more runs for Tyler Glasnow on Sunday if it all goes Luis Gil's way like it has been this year. So that's a little disappointing for our boy Glasnow.
Yes. So, guys, it's going to be a
Six
great
starts
weekend.
in a row.
6 starts in a row. Glasnow.
If Tyler Glasnow had to depend on the Dodger offense to eat, he would starve to death.
I know. We're praying for you, Glasnow.
Yeah, we are.
But a great series we have ahead of us. Ohtani versus Judge. Already a story there. Those two fighting for MVPs basically every year. Now you add Mookie and the big three into the mix. This is going to be a great series. I'm excited to see it. Great pitching duels. Everything is just going to be what a baseball fan wants. So stay tuned. We'll be on social media reacting to the games. If you ever want to tweet at us, you could see our names down below. Give us a follow. Give ESPN Los Angeles a follow. And just be sure to tune into the Blue Review every weekday at 9:30 to 9:55 with us three here. We'll always be here to answer your questions in the chat. Greg, I'll let you send us off. But on behalf of myself, I just want to thank everyone for being here.
Yep. Thank you very much for always being here. 9:30, 9:55, like Parker was saying on the Blue Review. For Marcus Grant and Parker Bell, we are really looking forward to this series and can't wait to talk to you about it on Monday. See y'all and have a great weekend.